This is WKYT This Morning.
Good morning. Welcome to you. I'm Rebecca Smith.
And I'm Bill Bryant, and Kentucky Morning start right here on WKYT. We're glad you're with us here on Wednesday, March 9th.
Well, now at 6 a.m., the final two suspects in the Lexington murder case now in jail. This morning, new details about the deadly shooting they're accused of.
Also on WKYT, it's being called a rebirth of the Democratic Party in Kentucky. A look at last night's winners and losers in 4 key special elections.
And the search for a missing man now focused on a southern Kentucky river.
Looking across the way, seeing those really nice temperatures outside in the 50s. Feels great at the moment. We're 57 in Richmond. Now here in Lexington, closing on 60 degrees. By the afternoon, mid-70s. That's warmer than yesterday. We're going to talk about that and also when the rain arrives coming up.
All right, and let's get to the latest news.
Well, it's the third murder in Lexington this year. This morning, we've learned new details about the night a teenager was murdered.
5 arrests have been made in that case in total, and today one of the accused will be facing a judge. WKYT's Mark Barber is live in Lexington with some new details we've dug up overnight. Good morning, Mark.
Good morning, Bill. With these latest 2 arrests of an 18-year-old and a 19-year-old, police say they have found all of their suspects, all 5 suspects, connected to this fatal shooting that happened back in January. As far as the 2 latest suspects that are now in jail, police are identifying them as Marquez Smith and Marique Sturgis. They were both arrested yesterday and charged with murder, robbery, and assault. Police say they killed 18-year-old Caleb Hallett 2 months ago. Of the other 3 suspects in the case, 21-year-old Kenyon Hips killed himself when he was on the run in Ohio. 2 others are also tied to the murder, and they are already in jail, but we aren't naming them because they're still juveniles. This morning, we are getting a clearer picture of what happened from one of those juveniles who was talking with investigators. According to an arrest warrant, the 2 juveniles drove Smith, Sturgis, and Hips to Hallett's home on University Avenue back in January. There, court documents state that the men waited outside the house, planning to rob Hallett and his roommate. According to the arrest warrant, Smith shot Hallett and Sturgis shot his roommate in the arm after they left the home and got in a car. Police say that they have been searching for those 2 men ever since the murder happened. And now, later this morning, Smith will answer to a judge here at the District County Courthouse for the first time in the murder case. Live in Lexington, Mark Barber, WKYT.
New on WKYT this morning, police made an arrest in a stabbing in Georgetown that left a man fighting for his life. Ezra Hoover is charged with assault. Police say he stabbed the victim with a pocket knife multiple times last night. The victim is in critical condition at UK Hospital.
Kentucky Democrats have thwarted Republicans' attempt to seize control of the state House. Democrats won 3 of the 4 House seats up for grabs in yesterday's special elections. Chuck Tackett narrowly defeated Philip Pratt in the 62nd District, which includes parts of Fayette, Scott, and Owen counties. The Republicans' only win last night was in the 54th District, which includes parts of Boyle and Casey counties. Daniel Elliott easily defeated Bill Noker there. Republicans had hoped to have a 50-50 House tie after the election. Instead, Democrats now hold a 53-47 majority. Speaker of the House Greg Stumbo calls the victories a rebirth of Kentucky's Democratic Party.
What it says is that people in Kentucky want us to work together, and I am committed to that, and I think my caucus is committed to that.
Stumbo says he thinks the results are in part a backlash against Governor Bevin's proposed budget cuts. He says the House will continue to focus on education and health care.
Well, the state says radioactive waste was illegally dumped in a second Kentucky landfill, this time in the Ashland area. This after a similar discovery in Estill County. WKYT's Michelle Chamberlain's on our live desk to explain what the state is now doing about it.
Yeah, the state's Energy and Environment Cabinet says it sent a notice to Blue Ridge Landfill yesterday for 4 different violations. State investigators say the landfill used inaccurate reporting, disposing unpermitted waste while not properly recording the source. The state says the landfill accepted 26 loads of low-level radioactive waste. The state also sent a cease and desist letter to the waste disposal company Advanced Turnham of West Liberty. The state says the company imported, collected, transported, and illegally dumped the radioactive material from West Virginia in June of 2015. The transport of these materials from out of state is against the law, and the company could face civil fines of up to $100,000 for each disposal. The state also sent a notice of violation to a landfill in the Ashland area. At the live desk, Michelle Chamberlain, WKYT.
The search continues this morning for a missing Whitley County man. The sheriff's office issued a golden alert for 48-year-old Joel Moses. Deputies say they found his car abandoned along the side of Highway 25. They say they found his jacket near the Clear Fork River. People who know Moses now fear the worst.
And there was like slide marks on the mud down to the water, and with all my heart, I really think he slid into that water. I mean, I hope I'm wrong, but I think that.
Right.
And he couldn't swim.
Whitley County Emergency Management says crews have completed the ground search for Moses, but they'll continue to search the Clear Fork River.
The time this morning, 6:05 on WKYT, and crews are now blasting as part of their work to stop that big rock slide that has a stretch of I-75 shut down. The Tennessee Department of Transportation posted this video of the work going on. The rock slide has a 20-mile stretch of I-75 south of Jellicoe shut down. Crews are hoping to have the southbound lanes reopened by March 17th, the northbound lanes about a week later. But the work there is expected to continue through mid-April.
Now, your zone-by-zone forecast with meteorologist Micah Harris.
Outside at the moment, it is a really nice feel. Kind of feels like you're at the beach outside with that really mild air and also a nice little breeze out and about. We have the front back toward our west and nothing showing up on radar across our region. But look at the front. It's not really moving. I mean, it just kind of stays in one place and doesn't really move that much. And all this just rides right along that front and moves toward the northeast and not so much east. So what we're going to be seeing out of this winds traveling in here anywhere from 10 to 20 miles per hour again today, pumping in milder air. We'll be a couple of degrees higher than where we were yesterday. Yesterday was phenomenal. 58 degrees there in Lexington, 57 now in Richmond. As you walk out the door this morning, you won't even need a coat. I mean, it's a really nice start to the day, 59 now in the capital city. We get into your afternoon. If you're planning on getting the kids out today, once again, their teachers, just keep in mind that it'll feel extremely nice no matter when you head out, whether it's 10, 11 a.m. or whether it's 1, maybe even 2 p.m. before kids head home. But later on this afternoon at 4 p.m., that's when you typically hit your high this time of year, 76 degrees. You got to love that. Mixture of sun and clouds. Here what we can't rule out. We can't rule out a sprinkle west of I-75 later on today. This is tomorrow. Here's hour by hour, and there's 7 a.m. Look at where the rain's located. You go up 71, Gallatin County, Trimble County, Carroll County, those areas close to 71. This is what you're going to be dealing with, not just during the morning, but all day long. So you guys could pick up an inch of rain tomorrow, but then you look down toward the southeast, there's nothing going on. Southeastern zones, you won't have a chance of rain until once that sun does set. So most of us stay dry, but watch this. There's noontime, and watch this slowly but surely creep eastbound, okay? So this is when things start to change. Frankfort is going to be a pretty soggy afternoon for you guys. Lexington, I do expect at least some showers before the sun does set, and then we'll start to see that move eastbound as we go through time. The bulk of this rain falls during the evening and nighttime hours. So you go off into the evening and night and then try to push it through overnight into early Friday morning. Look at that. There's 8 a.m. It's long gone. So most of this moves out anywhere from 5 to 8 a.m. on Friday, and that means Friday afternoon looks really nice. Now that's a cool front moving through, not a cold front. So what it's going to do is knock down the temperatures about 10 degrees, but 10 degrees from 76, you're still talking there in the 60s. So it's a really nice look there on Friday afternoon. Friday afternoon and evening will be great. You got Disney on Ice going on downtown. That's going to be Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So if you're heading down there with the kiddos, it looks like pretty good weather for you.
Keep the ice indoors, right?
Yeah, absolutely. It looks good.
Let us enjoy the warm temps. Each morning we bring you weather and traffic together. Here's Officer Don right now to look at what's happening out on the roads.
Good morning. Well, no wrecks to start off. Well, actually, I take that back. We're just clearing one on the inner loop of the circle at Tate's Creek. It has the left lane partially blocked, but there's a wrecker on the scene, so it should be gone in the next 5 or 10 minutes there at New Circle and Tate's Creek. Let's get a look outside real quick and take a look at the traffic flow around Lexington in real time, because that's what we can do as we look at inbound Nicholasville Road coming in from Jessamine County toward the circle. Things look pretty good. No major delays there. Slowdowns on Richmond Road, mainly around the turn lane to get onto the Circle. Drive times 12 minutes to Nicholasville or from Nicholasville, 17 minutes from Georgetown, and 18 minutes from Paris to Lexington. Now back to you.
All right, should be a fine ride-in this morning. Thank you, Don. Our time is coming up on 6:10, and it's great to have you with us Wednesday morning on WKYT.
Well, voters in 4 more states have added more delegates to the Democratic and Republican frontrunners, but there's also a surprise victory in the race for the White House.
Details on that coming up this morning. Stay with us right here. This is where your morning gets underway. WKYT. We're back in a moment.
Kentucky mornings start here. You're watching WKYT This Morning.
Welcome back into WKYT This Morning. Our time is 6:14 right now. Bernie Sanders and Hillary Clinton will face off again tonight in a big debate. This time it's in Florida. And the showdown comes just one day after Sanders claimed a surprise victory over Clinton in last night's Michigan primary contest. Craig Boswell has the latest on the campaign.
Bernie Sanders regained momentum last night, picking up a big win in Michigan's primary contest over rival Hillary Clinton.
I just want to take this opportunity to thank the people of Michigan who kind of repudiated the polls that had us 25 points down a few days ago.
Clinton, who scored a victory in Mississippi, brushed off the loss, looking ahead to the general election.
Running for president shouldn't be about delivering insults. It should be about delivering results for the American people.
For Sanders, the race is an uphill climb. The former Secretary of State has already earned more than half of the delegates needed to clinch the party nomination.
In terms of superdelegates, he's way behind Hillary Clinton, and I just don't see that changing, barring some catastrophic problem with her campaign.
Despite efforts by some in the Republican establishment to derail Donald Trump's campaign, Trump continues to extend his lead, picking up even more victories last night.
There's only one person did well tonight, Donald Trump, I will tell you.
The billionaire frontrunner defeated his rivals in Michigan, Mississippi, and Hawaii, while Ted Cruz carried Idaho.
We have tremendous support on the grassroots, and we are fighting to earn delegates.
Marco Rubio suffered a brutal night, emerging with no new delegates. Craig Boswell, CBS News, Washington.
And CBS News has learned and is reporting this morning that Florida Senator Rubio's campaign and his allies are, quote, engaged in deep conversations about the future of his presidential campaign. The next big contest for the GOP will come up on March 15th when 5 states hold primaries, including the winner-take-all primaries in Ohio and Florida.
Well, a West Point graduate has been identified as a Vanderbilt University student stabbed to death during a Palestinian knife attack in Israel. 28-year-old Taylor Force was an MBA student on a school-sponsored trip. He served tours of duty in Iraq and Afghanistan. Police say a Palestinian man went on a stabbing spree in the port city of Jaffa near Tel Aviv. He injured 6 others before he was shot and killed. The hunt for a man suspected in 5 fatal shootings in 2 states has ended. Authorities nabbed Pablo Antonio Serrano Vitorino in Danville, Missouri overnight after he allegedly shot and killed a 49-year-old man in the state, 4 others in Kansas City. Police say the Mexican national was living in the country illegally. George Martin, the producer who guided the Beatles to astonishing heights, has died. He was 90 years old. Martin's manager says he died peacefully at home. Martin produced some of the most popular and influential Beatles albums of modern times: Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band, Rubber Soul, and Abbey Road. He won 6 Grammys and was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 1999. He was also knighted.
The time this morning is 6:17 on WKYT. Good morning to you once again. Chipotle's new food safety rules have shut down a store in the Boston area after 4 workers called in sick, and one of them tested positive for norovirus. No customers appear to be infected, but as part of Chipotle's new guidelines, employees get paid sick leave. Cleanup crews arrived at the restaurant last night, and health inspectors will be there today. Home Depot wants to pay up to $19 million to settle a class action lawsuit over its massive 2014 data breach. Most of the money will reimburse shoppers for out-of-pocket expenses. About 50 million customers were affected. A court still needs to approve that deal. Goodyear is reinventing the tire for self-driving cars. The Concept Eagle 360 tire is the shape of a sphere that would connect to the car using magnetic levitation instead of axles. The tire can move in any direction, allowing the car to move sideways into a parking spot instead of parallel parking. Be easier for the self-driving cars than it is for us, right? Did you go through a bad breakup at one time? Have momentums that you don't have that are around right now that you just don't have the heart to give away? Well, how about donating those to the Museum of Broken Relationships? The museum is dedicated to the brokenhearted, and it will open its doors in Los Angeles coming up in May. The failed relationship displays feature everything from bras to mixtapes and some other things. So there you go.
Well, you do wonder, where should all that stuff go besides the trash can? I don't know.
The museum, I guess, huh?
All right. WKYT This Morning is just getting started. A little Chicago Bulls fan couldn't contain his excitement at this NBA game, but he wasn't just cheering on his team that was winning, and it had him jumping in his seat. We'll tell you what that is.
And we're looking across the region, live sky camera, beautiful start to the day. We will be flirting with a record later on today, and then the rain is going to be the talker the next few days. I'll have that coming up next.
Welcome back. It's 6:22 on this fabulous morning.
Oh, it's a great day. You know,
Yeah.
it's going to be a nice one ahead. Maybe a record high today.
That's
Possible.
Great news. Well, police arrested their last two suspects in Lexington's third murder case of the year.
And that's what's trending at this hour. Marquez Smith and Marique Sturgis are now charged with murder in connection to the shooting death of 18-year-old Caleb Hallett near the UK campus in January. There are 3 other suspects in that case.
Georgetown police charged Ezra Hoover with assault. Police say he stabbed a man several times last night on Scoggins Park Drive. The victim is in critical condition at UK Hospital.
And the state says radioactive waste was illegally dumped in a second Kentucky landfill, this time in the Ashland area. This as the state investigates the illegal dumping of radioactive waste in Estill County. Last night we learned the Energy and Environment Cabinet delivered 4 violations to Blue Ridge Landfill in Estill County. Once again, a warm day is on the way. Let's check in with meteorologist Micah Harris.
Yeah, it feels amazing this morning. We're in the 50s this morning, a couple of 60s even out there early. So the look outside looks good. No rain in the forecast. Remember, today we cannot rule out a sprinkle west of I-75, and that goes for this morning and toward this afternoon. But for the most part, we're going to stay dry. 58 now in Lexington. And you look across the region, there's really no cold spot. There's some cool spots in the higher elevations down in southeastern Kentucky in the 40s, but for the most part, it's looking pretty good. 59 now in Frankfort. We're at 60 degrees in Bardstown, Shelbyville, Lawrenceburg, and then work your way over towards, say, Springfield and Washington County. Good morning to you guys. Your emoji cast, the way most of us feel. Now, I know it's not all of us, because trust me, looking on my Facebook page, my Twitter page, I hate this weather. I wish it would still snow a little bit more. You're one of the very few, I promise you that. But for the most part, man, this weather makes you feel really happy. It just gets you outside. Had patio dinner last night, stayed outside from, 4 p.m. to about 7:15, as I said earlier. It just is fun to be outside during this time of year. Now, we'll talk about what's going to be happening tomorrow, because rain moves in tomorrow, and also that cool front, guys. How far are we going to drop with those temperatures? I'll have that coming up in a few minutes.
All right. Yeah, we're a little ahead of the game with this spring feel that we're enjoying now, even while we're still in winter. But it really is great. 6:25 right now. Thousands in Southeast Asia are reacting to last night's solar eclipse. It was something.
It was. People in Indonesia managed to get a full view, while clouds made the event less visible for others in parts of the Pacific. The next total solar eclipse isn't expected until next summer. Well, the mayor of a Central Florida city is planning to visit Cuba and return home on a makeshift raft.
Right. DeBarry's mayor, Clint Johnson, says he is going to make this dangerous trip to better understand what Cuban migrants go through when crossing the Florida Straits. The 30-year-old said he qualified for a license to travel to Cuba under professional research or journalism reasons. He will also blog about his trip.
Cool.
Give details. All right.
That's fascinating.
Well, every time the Chicago Bulls score 100 points at home, fans get a free Big Mac.
Monday night against the Milwaukee Bucks game, one excited little kid was caught on camera cheering for Bulls Etwan Moore to hit 2 free throws to hit the century mark. High-fiving his dad, we know where they went for a bite to eat after the game.
Hey, you can better bet, because take a look. Here you go. And
does
he
do it?
sinks them.
There he goes.
Okay, look at that.
Yeah.
Father and son having a great time.
Having a good time.
Yeah. 6:26 on WKYT on your Wednesday morning. It's Hump Day, and we have more news on the way.
Yeah, a new edition of Maker's Mark will have a taste of Keeneland in it, literally. The details coming up at 6:30.
Tonight's Powerball jackpot is $50 million. Friday night's Mega Millions jackpot is $15 million. Kentucky mornings start right here on WKYT.